If society split into two, one of total digital control and one of chaotic analog freedom, which world would you choose to survive in? Tonight we explore a dystopian world manipulated by algorithms, corporations, and science. Here, your imagination reflects through an endless labyrinth of circuits lurking just beneath the surface of the binary mirror. The decade began with exhaustion, confusion, and uncertainty, and the 2020s ended in a state of systemic fracture, with cities buckling under the weight of cascading infrastructure crises and escalating housing and energy costs. The promise of the 20th century utopian city had broken into disillusion, creating the perfect catalyst for a radical and irreversible solution provoked by corporations and world think tank groups no one asked to fix. The promise of a unified society was a lie. What emerged were two incompatible operating systems for humanity: the compliant, integrated citizens of the emerging core, usually high-paid government employees, and skilled technical workers akin to the brave New World alphas and betas, and a growing, marginalized class of the non-compliant who didn't fit the mold. The dream of home ownership became a statistical impossibility even with two incomes and gig jobs. As investment giants like Blackstone and others transformed homes into assets, the U.S. house price-to-income ratio spiraled past the 6.0x mark, and as high as 10 times in other Western cities, a point of no return. A permanent global renter class was born, their futures owned by distant corporations who pushed a narrative of rent everything and be happy. Mobility, once a symbol of freedom, became a luxury. Volatile energy markets and geopolitical instability turned the cost of fuel into a tool for control, effectively tethering the working class to their immediate economic zones. The dream of the open road trip or truck freight jobs was diminishing, with EVs a potential solution, but with unlimited energy generation still unsolved. The fragility of global supply chains and tariffs was laid bare. As food prices soared, hunger became a reality even in the wealthiest nations. Food was no longer just sustenance, it was a vector of social and political pressure. Even in countries with oversupply, corruption, and governance-controlled end prices, a hungry populace is a compliant one. From the chaos, a solution was offered, championed at forums like WEF, Davos, and pioneered by nations like China. The central bank digital currency, or CBDC, promised to restore order. It was a plan to move all economic activity onto a single, efficient, and perfectly transparent global ledger. An easy reset, backed by precious metals and crypto. China's digital currency was the successful proof of concept. It demonstrated the power of programmable money, a currency that could be tied directly to social behavior. Every transaction was no longer just a purchase, it was a data point, a vote of confidence, or a mark of dissent that could potentially be used to block your accounts and create undocks and invalids. Canadian truckers felt this in a previous altercation with the government as well. The West adopted the model under a friendlier hypothetical name: the Civic Score. It wasn't just about financial credit, it was a holistic, real-time analysis of your value to the new, efficient society. Your compliance became your currency. Failure to meet the metrics might lead to an explanation being provided, possibly a hold on your digital funds. To manage the core population, the AI Aura in the corporate-controlled tech bros data centers deployed its primary hypothetical diagnostic tool, the social collapse scale. The metric tracked the erosion of human agency. The system's goal was not to empower, but to guide. To replace the friction of choice with the comfort of algorithmic servitude. This made those who followed this layer made their lives easier. For those that failed to comply, it was a further reason to cut off their credentials. For those on the margins, the only way to build a score was to plug into the gig economy. The promise of flexibility became a reality of algorithmic servitude. The global workforce swelled into a digital proletariat, their lives dictated by an app, strange working hours, with disloyalty to both workers and corporations. Then came the final blow. The Civic Validity Act was the quiet apocalypse. To ensure system integrity, it stripped digital citizenship from persistent low scorers. They were reclassified as invalids, their assets frozen, their existence erased from the ledger. Social groups would help these people transition to commune-style reservations to provide clothing, housing, and food. Life in the core is a seamless service backed by your credit credentials. Your needs are anticipated, your choices optimized, your happiness algorithmically assured. It is a paradise of predictability, purchased at the cost of your privacy, your autonomy, and your soul. The 15-minute city, once a progressive urban planning concept, was repurposed. High-compliance zones offered safety and convenience in exchange for constant biometric monitoring and movement tracking. They were comfortable and efficient, but with inescapable surveillance. Instant fines and payment reminders were sent to robotic claims labyrinths. A lack of human oversight led to dwindling confidence in governance. The algorithm was the ultimate gatekeeper. It created a new form of digital segregation, reinforcing existing inequalities with ruthless efficiency. The high-scored prospered in a world of seamless convenience, while the low-scored were systematically excluded. Social media played its part by requiring excessive identification and also public scrutiny via instant shaming of any behavior society deemed unsavory. Some saw the writing on the wall. A minority of privacy advocates, crypto-anarchists, and modern homesteaders chose exodus over compliance. They became the voluntary undocumented, liquidating their digital lives and heading for the forgotten spaces between the smart cities. The Japanese have a name for this: the Johatsu, citizens who evaporate from society and leave the matrix altogether without a trace. The divorce was finalized. Two civilizations now occupied the same geography, but different realities. A digital divide. The core, a world of algorithmic order. The fringe, a world of human effort and experiences with nature. A digital chasm, an unbridgeable protocol wall, separated them. The two worlds no longer speak the same language. The core communicates in data and efficiency metrics, the fringe in stories and human values. The digital firewall between them has become a philosophical one. Two paths diverged in the digital woods. One led to the comfortable certainty of perfect control. The other to the dangerous uncertainty of chaotic freedom. The future belongs to whichever world can answer the fundamental question: what does it mean to be human?